Rotary President Nirjit, parents, students, my dear club members, and Rotractors. Coronavirus disease, COVID-19 pandemic has family, life around the world. School closures, working remote, physical distancing. It's a lot to navigate for anyone, but especially for parents. This webinar by Rotary Club of Thane SS and Rotary Club of Billabong High International School will definitely help to understand about positivity and learning about connecting and communication as new normal in current and upcoming time. We hope everyone will enjoy today's session and I request everyone to participate and interact actively. Thank you. Over to you, Nirjit.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Rotary Club of Billabong High International School, Thane, I would like to welcome our guest speaker, Dr. Devangi ma'am, and all the guests present over here. Thank you.
Now I request Billabong High International School Principal, Madam Kalyani, Madam, please address the gathering.
Ma'am, you're on mute.
Madam, unmute yourself.
Ma'am, you're on mute.
Thank you for reminding. Namaste, Dr. Vakharia.
Thank you.
Jyoti ma'am, students, teachers, and parents. Welcome to this Super Saturday. During this time, we have noticed that though we are at home, though we are with all the members of the family, we are at times very disturbed. And that disturbance can be caused due to some kind of unpleasant communication. Is there any other reason that you believe the disturbance is caused? There are external factors, but there are internal factors also, because we've spent almost 6 months in our homes without any contact with the outside world physically, because that was the need of the hour. So it is important to, we all know how to communicate with each other and we try our level best to communicate well. But at times things go wrong. At times the outburst is uncontrollable. At times we don't think before we speak. So what happens if there is an unpleasant communication? The connection gets damaged. So today, Dr. Vakharia is with us to give us more insights into how we can communicate better, because there's always scope for improvement for all of us. It is not only for our growing children, it is also for us as adults that we know how to communicate with our own self and with our children in order to make everything happen in a better manner. And I also add here that before we speak, from a quote that I read very recently, before we speak, we think, and I'll break down THINK. So T stands for, is it true? If we ask ourselves these questions, probably we speak better, we communicate better. T is it true? H, is it helpful? I, is it inspiring? N, is it necessary? And K, is it kind? Thank you so much. Welcome, Dr. Vakharia. We are glad that you are with us this morning, and we will learn a lot more from you.
Thank you, Kalyani madam. Now I request Rotarian Pooja, please introduce our esteemed guest speaker, Dr. Devangi Vakharia.
Yes, thank you, President Jyoti. Good morning, everyone. Joining us today is a superwoman and an amazing visionary. When I say amazing, I really mean it. Because her vision towards generating well-being for all and a background of work in the same line, she comes across as a lifelong learner with great zeal to learn and explore new avenues.
Nirjit, please unmute. Nirjit.
কেন কাঁদছিস হ্যাঁ কি প্রবলেম হয়েছে কি প্রবলেম হয়েছে চল বসো
Dr. Devangi, an alumna of Nagpur University, completed her master's in human development, where she focused on gifted children, and her insightful doctoral thesis was on parental expectations and anxiety in adolescents. Her immense experience with students and the parent population motivated her to work on their well-being and healthy coping. She was frequently offered eminent positions, but she chose to work hands-on in a sphere where she knows she can make a tangible differences, especially one which she herself can direct and guide in terms of its working. Dr. Devangi has been working as a professor and practicing counseling since 35 years as a part of visiting faculty at the SNDT Women's University. Her major thrust areas in pursuing teaching encompasses counseling and curriculum planning for preschool children. She has been the head of the PG Diploma in Early Childhood Education and also been counseling at the Nanavati College since last 12 years. Ever since her association with the Nanavati College, she has been at the forefront of organizing and keenly following up the MMR vaccinations since past 15 years. Her vision is all-encompassing and all-embracing, but her heart touches out most to the girl child. Her aim is to empower girls and help them establish an independent entity with a feel-good self-image as well as a positive and dignified self-concept. On the domestic front, Dr. Devangi Vakharia is married to Ajay Vakharia, a stockbroker and
You muted yourself.
Nirjit, could you please mute all? Then our speaker or Ms. Pooja can unmute and speak.
Pooja, unmute yourself, Pooja.
Yes.
Yeah. On the domestic front, Dr. Devangi Vakharia is married to Ajay Vakharia, a stockbroker and investor, and has been blessed with 2 children, Nisarga and Nilomi. Nisarga has taken forward the legacy of his father, while Nilomi has ventured into the wellness industry. She is a wonderful and gracious hostess who treats her family and friends to delicacies of varied cuisines, which she loves to cook. She is accomplished in the musical arts as well. She plays the sitar and the piano with equal ease and skill. A person who loves bonding with people and an avid traveler, her main focus lies in looking.
Pooja, can you please unmute yourself because I muted also.
Ma'am, you muted yourself again.
No, Pooja ma'am will have to unmute herself. Yeah.
A person who loves bonding with people and an avid traveler, her main focus lies in looking for the good in everyone and in everything, but with ethicality being the uppermost, for which she was awarded with Miss Goodness Queen in college. She firmly avers that the Indian ethos is a way of life that is all accommodating and all inclusive, hence the ideal. A firm believer in karma, her philosophy of life is simple: be good and do good for its own sake. A woman of varied facets which are invaluable She is the one who possesses beauty of the mind and heart as a person, and above all, wisdom and purity, which appeal to the soul as a mentor and as a guru. So let's welcome Dr. Devangi Vakharia with a big round of applause. Over to you, ma'am.
A very good morning. Can you all hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good morning to all of you. President Jyoti, Rotaract President Nirjit, Madam Principal Kalyani, my dear children and parents, and all the Rotaractors present today. Thank you for having me here today. And it's really a very important topic which we have chosen today. And we are going through difficult times, and for which we were not prepared for all at all. And so let me try today to give you some few ideas which you can put into practice in your day-to-day routine. Now, to start with, when this COVID came in the month of March, we thought it is going to get over soon, maybe within a month's time, but it took over for 2 months, 3 months. And we were all, I think, in the mid of the examinations. At the same time, we had planned holidays. So everything was so structured for us. And suddenly this thing comes, which actually makes a complete chaos in our life, which is unexpected, unpredictable, ever, anytime in your life, which you could never think of it. And so it was a big challenge for every one of us. So first of all, I want to say that whatever challenges we are going through, we are all together. We are all together. We are all going through the same challenges. Maybe the challenges are different, but we are going to follow social distancing. We are going to wash hands. We are going to wear masks. Whatever preventive measures we have to take, we don't have choice for that. And I'm sure that, as Madam Kalyani already, she pointed out very rightly, that you are in the state of frustration, anger, agitated. Hopelessness is the feeling what we get today. Absolutely hopelessness. We really don't know what is happening. And still we are waiting for the vaccine to come. And whether this vaccine is going to be how helpful to all of us, whether we all will be able to take that vaccine. So a lot of uncertainty and unpredictable situations which we are going through. So I'm not going to discuss about whatever you have been doing for so many months, which you have already settled down in a phase where you have adopted to the situations, the new situations which we have gone through. Like, for example, you have to have a place in your home where you have created that environment of a school. It is very difficult to have that, to get it restructured, replanned. I do understand that today many people, families, they don't big houses, but they have to assort a place, a permanent place where they can create an environment for the children. But still, we are managing it quite well, but still we are not very clear. So today I'm going to speak more about how do you connect and communicate. As Madam has very nicely explained about the word think. But before that, I just want to ask you, many of us, we say, I connect very well with people. But how do you connect? You connect through social media, through your Facebook, through your Twitter, through your Instagram, through your LinkedIn. So that is what the communication which we have. We send messages, information, and that is what is called as communication. If that is communication, then what is connect? Connect is something where you you move people with your emotions. And that's exactly what we are going to do today. Now, today, I am addressing to the parents and the teachers. So maybe I will be favoring the parents sometimes, and I will be favoring the children at some time. But ultimately, we need to have a balance in our life. So let's start with, first of all, how do you connect with people? Can we have a little interactive session? I would enjoy doing that. Some feedback from children and some from the parents.
Yes, please, ma'am.
Yes, I think the children can just raise their hand and show a thumb. And I see Naman raising his hand. Can you unmute yourself?
Yes, ma'am. I can unmute
Yes.
myself.
And what do you think? Are you able to connect? Naman?
Ma'am, in this meeting, I'm having 130 participants. I'm able to, my computer is able to hold this much thing. That is big thing for me.
Okay. So what is that? Is it communication? Very well spoken.
Yes,
Naman.
ma'am. Visual communication.
Absolutely. And I'm sure by this time, you children have become an experts and masters in visual this thing. Isn't it, Naman?
Yes. Ma'am, but some people are not accepting some things sometimes. Ma'am, me I have sent a friend request to a hangout. It is on 15 May. No, 15 September or August. And now it's 24. Still not accepted. What can I do, ma'am?
Okay, we'll come to that. Let's finish first our topic. Anyone else would like to speak on connect? How do you connect? So here we are talking more about communication, right? But when do you connect with a person? You bring all your emotions, you bring all your feelings. Many times we say that, okay, I'm able to communicate with my friend, but somehow I'm not able to connect with her. I'm not able to connect with that person. So what is that difference between communication and connect? That's exactly what I told you, that in communication, we are just giving the message and information. Now, when we communicate, there are three components of communication. The first is the words that what we use. The second is the tone of our voice. I mean the voice modulation. And the third is our body language, how we communicate. What is the body language we are going to use to communicate? And most of the time, let me tell you, all the parents have been communicating with their children. But let me tell you, my dear friends, that it is out of whatever you are able to communicate, not even 25% of the things the children are going to absorb about it. Because it all depends how you are going to connect with them with your body language. I'm sure at this point, the parents are so much they are juggling between the home duties, the professional work, and many other responsibilities what you are holding right now. So you must be at a phase where you are stressed, and that stress has come to anxiety. Now, what is this anxiety? Now, this is something which is going to go on and on till we get some solution to this. We have to learn to live with this anxiety. We have to learn to cope up with this situation. Rather, we change this anxiety into more courage and confidence to deal with the situations. But how do we do that? Do you think that by getting angry with your children or with your family members, you're going to find a solution to that? And that's what I'm talking about, the body language. You're not happy doing the work. You feel always pushy. You feel it's a compulsion for me to do the work. Yes, we do not have choice. But if we involve, as I always believe, that if you involve your children in your activity, whatever it may be, I'm sure your work is much become simpler, and it makes everyone feel comfortable and happy. So can I ask children, how much are you helping your parents in this COVID-19? How much support are you giving to your parents? Yes, can I have?
Ma'am,
Yes.
I help my mother in the kitchen doing the chores, and sometimes I even make food.
Very good. So what recipes, Mahi, what recipes you have tried with your mother?
I have tried rajma,
Oh, wow.
paneer, kadhai paneer.
Yes.
Uh, I learned to make tomato rice with her.
Okay.
The some evening snacks like pakoras and all.
Wow, Mahi, how old are you?
I'm 12 years old.
Oh my God. See, she needs a big applause. Now, I just want to tell you one thing over here, that this COVID has taught us so many things. It has brought so much of innovation in us. Maybe we would have not tapped this potential any time in our life. Do we all agree with that or not? I mean, people have come with so many innovations, like as Mahi said, that she's learned cooking. Maybe if she would have been going to school, even her mother would say, Mahi, come on, you help me out in doing so. Mahi would say, no, Mama, I've got a lot of homework to be done. I have these classes, I have to go this. She wouldn't be available. But now we are all in lockdown. You don't have any choice. And that's where your inner potential, of which we are gifted by God, that is being tapped so beautifully. So here, what I feel is that this is the way to connect. How do you connect? When you involve a person in doing any activity. But to make it more specific, let me tell you that we connect, first of all, visually. Visually. Now, what is this visual? When I'm talking to someone, I mean, if you ask me, I've been in this profession since past 30 years. I mean, today we have become so techno-savvy with our presentations and everything, but still, though my presentation is there, but I am very comfortable when I connect with my students, because that's the eye contact which I have. But this whole lockdown, when I was in the session of counseling, I mean, it was very difficult for me to see my clients. And then finally, I had my sessions on Zoom where we have an eye contact. I really read so many things through the eye contact. So the first very important thing is you need to connect yourself by looking into the eyes of that person. So whenever you're talking to your children, you connect with them. Give them time and look into their eyes, straight into their eyes, whatever you want to communicate. It will make your communication more easy and effective. Second, whenever you're connecting, have a smile on your face. Smile can do wonders, my dear parents, and so is true for the children. If you want anything to be done by your parents, ask them with a smile. Mama, can I go and have pizza today? Can we have pizza today? That's a better way of asking and connecting. And that smile brings your half of the work is done. Immediately, your parents will agree. And even as parents, if you ask your children to do something, can you help me out by cutting the vegetables today? Just asking with a smile, with a soft tone, you can connect with your children. The third thing, when you are visually connecting with your children, it's very, very important to eliminate the personal distraction. Now, many times, you want to talk to your child and you're just watching the TV and then you said, okay, you do your homework, this. No, you are doing your work, but you are not being there. That's where the difference is. You need to connect with your child by eliminating all the personal distractions which are around you. Maybe we are used to multitasking, but the impact of any work will happen only when you have personal distractions at one side. The third, the most important thing is expand your range of expressions. It's very, very important that whenever you want to connect with your children, you must have different range of expressions. Maybe sometimes you have to be firm. Sometimes you have to show happiness. Sometimes you have to show your discomfort. Sometimes you have to show your sympathy. So when you are expanding your expressions, you are actually connecting with the child because the child observes everything. And so is true with the parents when they talk to the children, vice versa. The very important thing is when you are visually connecting with the child, move with a purpose for opening an open position for the child. Open up. Let him also speak something and let there be an interaction between you and the child. Give him that openness, that yes, with the eye contact, with the smile, with different expressions. So that is how we can connect with our children. We can connect with our parents and teachers also. I'm sure the teachers are also there. So with that, that's how you connect visually. Now the next is, you connect intellectually. Now, how do you connect intellectually? I'm not talking about the intelligence. I'm talking about, it's very, very important for parents as well as the children, as well as the teachers to understand as to what my mother is telling, what my father is telling, what my teacher is telling, and what as a child is trying to tell you. But most of the time, it happens with parents, and so is true with the children, that we are hearing, we are not listening. Now, there is a difference between hearing. When you hear, you just एक कान से सुनते, दूसरे कान से निकाल देते हैं. But when we listen, we try to comprehend, we try to understand as to what my mother is telling. If my parents are telling that this is not the time for you to play video games, try to understand why. I'm sure most of you are going to have this complaint that the parents are not allowing to have more screen time. And I'm sure the teachers are also finding it very difficult. But you need to discipline yourself, that we'll see later. But what is more important is to understand, first of all, what a person is trying to tell you. The second is, if your parents say no for watching or playing a video game, ask questions. Have an interactive question answers, that why, pros and cons of everything. But as a dictator, if I say, no, you are not going to watch video, you are not going to play video games, it hurts. It hurts. It's very, very important to understand this feeling of hurt without making the child understand. And even as a parent, without understanding what he wants to convey, we get hurt, and we hurt mutually very often. So what is more important is ask questions. Why? How? When? And the next is listen to them. Try to give answers to that and pay attention of what is not being said. Many times we see that during our communication, we miss out most important things. Like, can someone give me an example that when you are talking to your parents, what is the most important thing they miss out on listening to you? Can I have someone from the children's side say something? Yes? I don't see anyone.
The whole thing in general, like our perspective is sometimes neglected because they are more matured. So they think that they know more than us, but sometimes it can also happen that we might be right in some way. Like it's right that they are parents and they know more than us, but then sometimes it's that our points need to be taken into consideration, and that's what they miss out.
Exactly. Very well said. And yes, so your points have to be taken into consideration. Yes. So that's what we call it as, you always feel that our parents are trying to control us. Isn't it? My parents, I see some parents, they are smiling and yes. And that's what we talk about, the emotional control. Because we feel that we are the authority to control our children. Just because we have experience, that doesn't mean we have the authority to discipline them. But sometimes we use this authority in the wrong way. Even if I would say, if your child is saying something wrong, but listen to him, rationalize the whole situation as to why, and make him explain your viewpoints and let him also say his viewpoints. And by doing so, what are we doing? We are respecting each other's opinion, which is very, very important. Respect for each other's opinion. Whether it is right or wrong, we'll decide, the time will decide. But what we need to do is give that time, give that space to your children to give their views and opinion. So have I answered your question? I just missed out the name. Who had said?
Jignesh, she's from grade 12. Jignesh had asked the question.
Yeah. So by doing so, what are we doing? We are building an understanding between the parents and the children. When we have exchange of views and opinions, when we respect each other, what are we doing? We are building a foundation for understanding and making it more comfortable. And at the same time, we are giving that confidence in each other that yes, even you can be right and even I can be right. But if you are going to use the authority, no, I say it has to be done like this, it doesn't happen. For example, now since we are in lockdown, you know, we are trying to manage our time and we have our set schedule for our dinner time and breakfast time and study time and play time and things like that. But what happens, maybe one day, the children would say, okay, Mama, can we have a dinner a little later today? Mama says, no dinner, this is the right time, because then after that we have dishwashing and things like that. So how can we make this whole problem, which all of us have gone through and we are still going through, can we make it more simple? For example, first of all, listen to him as to why he wants to have late dinner. There is a reason for it. Maybe he wants to watch a movie, maybe he has to connect with someone or whatever. Whatever the reason is, he tries to say, but somehow you are in that mode, मुझे बहुत काम करना है. तुम तो खाना खा के सो जाओगे, बर्तन तो मुझे ही धोना पड़ेगा. Right? So, in that case, how do you deal with the situation? We as parents, we have to deal this very smartly, inculcating the right values and ethics in our children. For example, the same example we can take. He says that, Mama, I don't want to have dinner, we'll have it later. So Mama says, no, this is the dinner time and let's have it. But he insists, he becomes aggressive, he becomes frustrated. Every time you're pushing me that I should have the dinner at this time, that time. No, today I'm going to have it little later. Calm down, first of all. Calm down as parents. Ask him, okay, let's have dinner a little later, but then you help me out in dishwashing, you help me out in cleaning up the table. When you ask such things, he also understands that how much work has to be done post dinner. But if as parents, if we are not going to give this responsibility to our children, how are they going to learn? So build an understanding in whatever you want to do, and that's how we can make our work simpler. Now, the most important thing in intellectual connection is pause. Stop. Pause for some time. Now, what do you mean by pause? I mean, I don't say if you're doing something, you just stop doing it. No. Pause for a time. Listen to whatever is happening. Take your own time to take a decision. Do not react to every situation. It is not a compulsion for all of us to react to all the situations. But what we are getting into this compulsion, I have to give my opinion for everything. I have to respond to everything. I have to react. If I don't react, nothing is going to happen. मैं गुस्सा नहीं करूंगी तो काम ही नहीं करने वाले बच्चे लोग. मैं अगर गुस्सा नहीं करूंगी तो वो पढ़ाई नहीं करने वाले हैं. So we are using this particular threat, fear. We are instilling this fear in our children. And very soon, this is going to come back to us. So parents, please be careful that when you connect your children, please see that use a positive reinforcement for any behavior which you want them to learn. Because we as parents are the best models for the children to learn. And if we are going to instill wrong such actions and behavior, very soon they will come back and you will come crying, oh my God, now he's giving back to me. But where did he learn from? He's learned from us. Today, whatever the child is doing, it is all from the environment. Whatever he learns is from the environment. He learns from family, he learns from the neighborhood, he learns from the school, he learns from the social circle, and so on and on. So I repeat, give a pause, think about it. How do you need to respond to that? Whether I need to respond, first of all, ask yourself, do I need to respond at this moment, or I can take my own time? I think someone wants to ask a question. Is it Nidhi? We can take the questions a little later, please. So this was how you connect intellectually with mutually as parents and children. And the last is emotionally. Now, how do you connect emotionally? Now, emotions, when we talk about emotions, हम बोलते हैं कि ये बहुत ज़्यादा emotional हो जाती है. Now, what is this emotional? Emotional is the feelings what we have within us. Now, the facial expressions, how you feel by giving your judgment, whether you are giving your judgment to the children or they are giving to you back. Okay, mama, today you have not cooked food properly. Aaj khana acha nahi bana hai. Immediately you feel bad about it. Immediately parents will also say, you have not got good grades. आज तुमने अच्छा काम, result अच्छा नहीं लाया है. So what is this? Your feelings. Now where do these feelings come from? These feelings come from exactly what you expect. For example, if your expectations are not being filled up, what is going to happen? You're going to feel very sad, unhappy, frustrated. How couldn't I do it? It was possible. How did I not do it? Maybe for many reasons. Maybe those triggering situations in the environment could not allow you to do that. Or maybe you didn't want to do it. So when you see your child responding some feelings like fear, anger, anxiety, threatening situations, and many such, I can go on and on. Please observe and connect with these feelings. And the most important thing in emotionally connecting with children is try to empathize with them. It's very, very important not to sympathize, but empathize. Sympathy is by बेचारे को डर लगता है, बेचारा नहीं बनाना है. We have to rather sympathy, show your empathy to the children and make them feel comfortable. Like, for example, sharing your own experiences. That even when I was small, I was also afraid of such things. And then immediately the child will be able to connect with you. Okay, there's nothing wrong in having this type of feeling. अगर मुझे डर लगता है तो डर को कैसे दूर करना है उसकी हम कोशिश करें, पर डर को बेचारा नहीं बनाना है हमारा. But what we do as parents, we are actually doing many things, but we are not being there. Now let me just sum up. Today, for your children. But this lockdown, in this lockdown, you are being actually, they will create memories of your lifetime. Do you agree with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, how do you connect yourself? I have explained to you in a different form. But the most important thing as parents, if you need to connect with your children or connect with anybody else, you need to connect with your own self first. If you cannot connect with your own self, you will never be able to connect with others. Now, today I'm just going to give you a few tips how you can connect yourself. The most important thing is when you are in a situation where you can't handle it, you're frustrated. The most important thing is just sit down and you reflect and reveal. Now, what do you mean by reflect? Reflection. I'm sure, Madam Kalyani, Madam, you must be having reflections, right? Now, what is this reflection? Madam, can you help me out?
Reflection is when I sit down and think what I have been doing.
Yes.
And then I ask myself why I have been doing it.
Exactly. So when you are in a situation where you are in a catch-kid situation and you cannot do anything, just sit down, reflect yourself and reveal, to make known that why am I going through this situation. It is very, very important. And you share this feeling with your children. There's nothing wrong in that. That today I don't feel like cooking, you know. But very important, we don't reveal and out of compulsion we feel, मुझे तो खाना बनाना ही पड़ेगा. मुझे तो ये करना ही पड़ेगा. We don't reflect and we don't reveal. The second most important thing is to allow anybody. Now, what is this allowing thing? You know, we get triggered very fast from the outside, say, sort of a triggers which comes from the environment. The triggers could be from anywhere. It could be your children, it could be a family member, it could be a friend or anything. We get easily, we allow that to happen. Why? And that's where you come into that situation that you get very frustrated. Why is it happening to me only? Every time. Why is it happening to me? Why doesn't it happen to my friend? But we allow that to happen. We give that freedom. We give that liberty to others to allow, to trigger, to control our personality. Then the next is you need to identify. You have to find out what is the triggering situation. What triggers me? Is it sometimes when I'm cooking and 100% my young baby is going to come and I want to go to the toilet? So is that the triggering? Identify the cause which triggers. Because here you need to connect with yourself, and it is very, very important. And the last is learn to make choices. You need to make new choices to make you feel happy. So unless you connect with yourself, with happiness, with goodness, you will never be able to reflect that in your children. So when you want to connect with anyone, it is very important, and it is said, connect with yourself to reconnect with your kids. Connect with yourself to reconnect with your kids. And it is said, be vulnerable, use touch, affection, play to connect with a child who is unable to imitate that connection to this empathetic self. So it is the lack of love, respect, affection, and understanding of each other, which will help us to connect with each other. Now, besides this, I would also like to talk about something where we as parents are, I would say, we are just pushing our expectations in our children. What we could not achieve during our times when we were young, we are trying to fulfill our dreams through our children. So ask yourself the very important question. Actually, I had my doctorate was on this parental expectations of adolescent children with respect to their achievement, motivation, self-concept, and anxiety. Now, this lockdown is going to help you to connect with your children. And at the same time, it is very important that you will get a lot of answers of whatever you were not able to get for such a long time. Because we are doing a lot of introspection of ourselves. And the most important thing when I talk about expectations is, as parents, we must very keenly, finely observe our children. You are the best judge for your children. Try to find out what is your child good at, whether he is capable of doing it or not, whether he or she has interest in doing a particular thing or not. But what we do is, just because his friend or her friend is doing this, we start building up expectations of our children. And ultimately, building up expectations leads to misery, let me tell you. I give you a simple example. Last year, I had got a girl who just passed her 12th standard, and she had given in CET also. And at the same time, she scored very well in her medical entrance exams also. For her to get admission in any hospital was just a catwalk for her. But at the same time, she was an amazing artist. She used to love drawing and painting. And in spite of having such good percentage, she refused to go for counseling for her medical admissions. And that's where the parents got concerned, and they came for counseling to me. And as parents, you feel it's a pride, honor that my child, my daughter is going to be a doctor. And so कैसे भी उसको डॉक्टर तो बनाना ही है. But there was so much of pressure and stress on her that she was not able to take the decisions. What should I do? And so finally they came down for counseling, and the first thing the mother said to me was, "Madam, आप उसको है ना डॉक्टर बनाने के लिए बोलना, मुझे कुछ आर्टिस्ट वार्टिस्ट नहीं बनाना है उसको." Now, first of all, when the parent comes like this, I tell them that I do respect what you say as a parent, but I will not be able to give my any statement till I meet the child, till I talk to the student. And so I requested her that I would like to have a one-to-one session with this child, with the girl, and that's how it went. Now, there were things where she was, you know, put at the pedestal. Yes, you have to become a doctor, क्योंकि हमारे family में कोई doctor है ही नहीं. That is what she said, and the mother also said, हमारे family में कोई doctor है नहीं, इसीलिए इसे तो doctor बनाना है. क्यों? क्योंकि उसको बहुत अच्छे percentage आए हैं. Now, this is where the catch is, my dear parents. We need to understand that. Whenever we are having expectations of our children, from the children, it's very important for us to understand whether, even if she has the potential to become a doctor, but whether she's interested in doing it or so, no. It's very, very important. And how do you see that she will be able to take this profession 10 years down the line? आप किसी के interest create कर सकते हैं? No, that has to come from within. So no matter what you get the percentage, but no. But then finally I had session with this girl, and you won't believe, I really had wonderful sessions with her, and she showed me her paintings and everything. It was just amazing. But then I just asked her that, do you really don't like to be a doctor? No, I would love to become, but I don't want to leave my hobby of painting an artist, which I'm told to do so. Now, every child is born with multiple intelligence. We are all gifted with different types of intelligence, but as parents, we don't tap the different giftedness we have in our children. We just see the IQ. We don't see the other different types of intelligence. And that's very important here to understand. So when I started talking to her, she said, no, madam. I said, you can do both the things. It is not necessary that you need to leave your hobby. No, but I'm told to do so. I said, no, it will not happen. You can continue this. I said, you are not going to become MF Hussain, right? No matter whatever your goal would be that, but it takes years and years, decades and decades to become MF Hussain. But ask yourself, I said, you introspect yourself, that if you have worked so hard to get so much of percentage to get the admission into the medical profession, wouldn't you repent it after some years? That's where you put into rationalization. Put questions on her. I started interacting with her at that level. And that's where she came to a point, yes, madam, I will take the admission, but at the same time, I will be continuing my painting as my hobby. So what are we doing here? Balancing. And actually, we are creating a self-esteem in the child, which as parents, it is very, very important to make him feel what he deserves to be. But over the period of time, we are losing that and we're just getting into the rat race. Now, I think I will keep on talking more and more. It can go on and on, but I just want to say the most important thing here is in this COVID-19 pandemic, what we need to learn is communicate and connect to create memories for a lifetime. Because I've just counseled one child and he has made a very beautiful scrapbook, you know, where they have taken pictures of birthday parties and drawings and something which they could never do it if the lockdown wouldn't have been there. And this scrapbook will be a memory for the lifetime that we will be cherishing forever. Though COVID positive is negative for us, but in a long run, it will give a lot of good memories for us to remember. Thank you so much for patient hearing.
Thank you, Devangi madam. Children,
Thank you, ma'am.
question, please raise your hand and ask the question. Sunita Jain. Yeah. Please raise your hand.
Any questions, you can put it in the chat box. Anybody has any questions, they can put it in chat box.
Yes, I can read the questions in the chat box.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Ma'am, what if parents or children get angry on a thing, but the parent or the children are not responsible for it?
Oh God.
If you're not responsible, then you don't get angry. It's very simple. If you have not done anything, why should you get angry? That's what I said. Whether you need to react to every situation. So that's where we as human beings have got into that mode. कुछ भी चीज हुआ है, उसका response हमें देना ही है. उसका reaction हमें देना ही है. It is not compulsory. Because ultimately, in a long run, it's going to make you unhappy.
Naman raised the question. Naman asked the question. Yes, Naman, go ahead.
Ma'am, why only my parents think that I am only the person in this world that plays phone more than anyone?
Can I see the chat on the screen, please?
His video is on.
Yes, yes. What's your name?
Naman.
Naman. Yes, Naman. Ask. Yes. What's your question?
Ma'am, why only my parents think that I am only the one who plays phone in the world more than anyone?
Anything in the, because okay, tell me, Naman, that how much are you playing first of all? Why should they think that way?
Ma'am, not really.
Sorry?
Nearly something 1 hour it will be.
I think I'm not, I cannot hear you, Naman. Okay, let me ask you a question, Naman. Let me ask you a question.
Ma'am, now I'm audible?
Yeah, now you're audible, yes.
Ma'am, at least 1 hour because I don't see time when I play.
So that you have answered your question. You don't see the time when you're playing, right? So that's the reason they feel.
No, ma'am, the thing I am playing, it is not going to end very nearly.
Okay. So?
And second thing, I think that because my parents are not looking in other children, only me. That's why they are telling.
Oh.
That's a very good observation, Naman. I think it's a very good observation because all the time you're in front of them and so they feel that you're all the time playing with the phone, right? So that's the feeling. But tell me one thing, Naman. How does it affect you? Do you get disturbed? He's actually enacting today. Huh? I just told him to pause.
I am a big child. My parents told me that I am big than my brother. So I cannot tell them to give me more time.
Sorry?
My parents tell me that I am bigger than my brother. So it doesn't mean that you are going to get more time to play. Only the little one is going to get. They don't do this thing that why they cannot cut the little one's time and my time also. Then I will not get angry.
So Naman, I think you have been told to sacrifice your time, right? That is what I understand. Yes. So I think I see your mother or someone next to you. Yes, yes. Yes, Mr. Agarwal, he has questions. Yes, I think he's asking, so why do you think so that he's spending a lot of time on the phone?
So basically,
what I note is he spent a lot of time, not most of the time. The three things he need a laptop, he need a mobile, he need a TV. So one of the three things he needed. So either if you give him a mobile, then he's happy, or you give him a TV, he will watch a cartoon, he will watch a video, or you give him a laptop. Even like sometime teacher has noted that even in the class he is looking at some other videos. साइड में क्लास चल रहा है और हमारे साथ जो है वीडियो देख रहे हैं.
Yes. From teachers also, it is very difficult for them to get the children focus on the lessons what they give. So Naman, don't scold your father, okay? Don't tell him, but your truth has come out that you have been playing on video games when the lessons are on. And so he has been observing, and that's why he says that you have the maximum video time or the phone call time, whatever, the screen time. And so and also you are right that all the time he's seeing you only. So even you are right. So both of them are right in their way, and find a solution to that.
Naman, you can find a solution by putting a stopwatch and alarm clock for yourself when you start playing.
Sunita, that doesn't work. वो stopwatch को सुनता ही नहीं है कोई. I know I have a case right now. I have to share this with you. This boy is in 10th standard, okay? And the parents are so anxious, and I would say they're literally in depression. What he does, Naman, don't do this, huh? I'm just sharing as an example, okay? What he's doing is, he is every day morning, 9 o'clock, he goes into the room, locks the room, and then he doesn't allow anybody to come inside the room. So the parents don't know actually what is happening, whether he's studying, whether he's playing video games. So it's a matter of lot of stress, and people, parents are really worried that what is going to happen. So yes, my dear children, there's a strong message for all of you that yes, today we have entered into the technology world and we are using the technology, but as we say, there are boundaries and limitations for everything. Would you like your parents to be scolding all the time? No, they can scold you only once. And that's where you need to understand. So in a similar way, if you enjoy everything what is being offered to you, if you enjoy what is being offered to you, you are definitely going to get more and more, but you need to discipline yourself. And this is an addiction, very bad addiction, which our children are going to get into. So parents, I would request you to have some healthy exercises in between, some sort of activities where they disconnect from the screen. It is very, very important. Naman, have I answered your question?
I think Parag Shah has also raised his hand.
Yeah,
Madam, can I read out 2 questions which are on the chat?
Yes, I think Mahi has asked, how do we keep our child engaged during the current situation as they don't have access to sports? Yes, it's a difficult time which we are going through, but yes, we can keep them engaged by playing board games in the house. We have chess, we have Ludo, so many board games are there. And I don't know, simple games which we used to play with the marbles.
Yes.
Those simple games that we can introduce in our children, and that's where it's a beautiful way of connecting with your children, of making them learn about winning and losing the game.
Can I say something?
Yes, who is?
This is Anika Joshi.
Yes.
Primary section head. Ma'am, I just want to say, somebody just asked what activities we can do. The school has planned activities in the evening And I think children should make the most of it. Every day from 4 o'clock, we have sessions for dance, music. So I think everybody has to take it and make the most of it, right?
Is it the teacher who is saying this?
Yes.
Yes. So
Yes,
I
yes,
think
ma'am.
yeah. So I think your question is answered. Yes, then I have wonderful.
Yeah, I am Parag Shah.
Yes, yes,
First
Parag.
of all, yeah. First of all, session was really very good. We understood the difference between communication and connect. We did the communication, but then we never waited for the response and never connect to their heart. So the difference we were knowing it, but now today, it has really blown our mind. Now, in continuation of one thing about communication with children, I'm a parent of one child who is studying in Billabong. So, thing is that because of this work from home culture and work pressure nowadays, specifically, in the job sector while working in MNCs and all, what happens that we do react immediately to any demands or anything of our kids, or we respond very hurriedly. And after responding, we realized it that we could have responded much better than what we had responded. And then we ourselves, first of all, regret that why did I responded to my, even not just child, but anybody. It could be wife, it could be parent. But specifically, this is a child session, so I'll put emphasis more on the child. That we react to their child, hurriedly, and then we ourselves, maybe after a few minutes or something, when we complete our that particular work or particular time had gone, we repent that now I should have told this way, but I had told this way. Now, ma'am, just want to understand from you that once we realize this, how do we respond or how we go back to our child? So I want some guidance, direction on this, ma'am.
Okay, I got your point, Mr. Parag. Now, the thing is, as I said, you must reflect and reveal. If you remember in my connect, I did say in the very first thing that you need to, when you want to connect with others, you need to connect with yourself. So reflection is very, very important. Feeling regretful because you shouldn't have done this. Yes, this is bound to happen. Now, many people come and ask me that I am a counselor, so aapko to koi problem hi nahi hoega. No, I'm a human being first. Even I get hurt. So the problem here is we have to have emotional control, and that's where we need to take care of ourselves first, which we don't do. We don't de-stress ourselves. Like for example, now in this panic situation where we are, no matter whatever we say, we are trying our level best to keep ourselves happy, right? But if you go out, it's a very sad situation. So what are we doing? We are manipulating our feelings, isn't it? Just forcing ourselves, living in hope, it will happen, acha hoega. But ultimately, to hum sad hi hai. So when sometimes you get into that feeling of regretness, what you need to do is you need to introspect yourself. First of all, why does it happen? The thing is, it could be a simple thing, just go and have a shower. Just go and have a shower. That will release your stress. It's a very simple thing to do. Or just listen to some good music which you are fond of. Just detach yourself because you're already on that awareness level that yes, I have done something wrong, but not to that level that you need to punish yourself. So don't feel regretted about whatever you respond or react, but it is a matter of practice. And that's where we say that we need to connect with our own self. So when you connect with your own self, Mr. Parag, it will never happen. You reflect, you reveal, you allow yourself to understand what is it that is triggering me. Is it the office work which is bothering me? Allow me to respond or react to the questions what my child is doing. What is it which is bothering me? Or is it some insecurity in which we are living? We are all living with a lot of insecurities in this COVID-19. It is emotional security, financial security, economic security, social insecurity. So these insecurities, they trigger you to react to the situation. Have I answered your question, Mr. Parag?
Yeah, ma'am. Sure, definitely. Yeah. So basically, you rightly told, connect to ourselves, list down what things where we need to improve, and accordingly start working towards it. Absolutely.
I'll tell you, researchers have shown that we as parents, if we control our emotions in the right way, your children will learn from you, as we say, that parents are the best models.
May I ask a question? May I ask a question, Dr. Devangi?
Yes.
So, thank you so much. I've seen you working as an innerwheel chairman, so I know that chairman, how the chairman is working. Now I got the idea. But my question is that suddenly this COVID has come.
Yes.
Okay, and then there is a sudden drastic change in the behavior of parents and the children.
Yes.
Now, how much time or how do a person try to adjust, to take this adjustment? Suppose I start doing goody-goody to my child suddenly, or child start goody-goody with me. Does it happen immediately or takes time to get corrected? Because, you know, emotional change and behavior takes long time, I suppose.
Yes, I agree with you that how long can you resist? And that's where we are building up the resilience today. We have to build up this resilience. And as parents, we have to learn this because we really don't know, because we are living in a lot of uncertainties. And so we have to have a lot of trial and error methods, because for every parent, every family, it's going to be different. Now, today I can tell you that there are so many parents who are facing financial problems. Let me give an example. Today, our children are studying in the best of the schools, right? But there are children or there are parents who are thinking that, okay, कैसे पढ़ाएंगे बच्चों को? हमारे पास अभी सब पढ़ाई ऑनलाइन हो गई है तो कैसे करेंगे हम लोग? So there are so many challenges, I can tell you. If you see, there are so many challenges that every one of us are going through. But yes, we have to build up that resilience to overcome the challenges. Because if we don't develop that resilience, what is going to happen? Stress, anxiety, depression, withdrawal. So the best thing is to accept the situation where we are going through. How long does it take? It may, now we had heard that September में कम हो जाएगा. September में तो अभी बढ़ गया है. अभी हमको समझ में आ रहा है कि वैक्सीन आने वाला है. Now today I read something in the paper that this vaccine, even if you take, there are going to be a lot of side effects. So even after having surety that vaccine is coming, but still we are insecure. So I feel it's a very strong message from God that we need to introspect within ourselves. It's very, very important to take care of our mother nature and do the best. And the most important thing, which I would like to tell everyone, gratitude. In your home, you must have a jar of gratitude. Every day, even a smile. Okay, today my mom smiled, I liked it. Put it in the jar. Any one small thing which makes you feel happy, it is very, very important. And I'm sure with gratitude, if we tell COVID-19 to go away, please, we are just not going to, हम लोग बोलते हैं कि उसको धिक्कार के नहीं भगाना है, gratitude से भगाना है. Yes, and that will take us a long way in the 21st century. And I'm sure the next generation, what we are going to see is a very different one, very innovative. So this COVID-19, though we say that we are facing challenges, but at the same time, I feel that we have tapped the inner potential of each and every individual person, which we wouldn't have done in our normal times. Today, you see, yesterday I saw someone, I read somewhere that this person was a lecturer in some college and now he's doing farming and he's enjoying it. So we are tapping at our own skills. which you have never used. So try to become adaptive to the situation, and let's hope that very soon we shall overcome COVID-19 together, and we are all together to look for a positive generation ahead. So all the best to all the children and to all the parents. Any more questions now?
One more question in chat box from Revival. There is a
yes, it says that freedom comes from responsibility. Parents could discuss that with them. Secondly, when parents are more anxious for the children's studies, child themselves stop worrying about themselves.
Yes.
I think it's a contradictory thing what you have written here. It says that if you start worrying about the studies of your children, the children will stop worrying about it. Now, what is this? It is exactly what you have said, that we have to make our children responsible of their own life. It is very, very important. I have seen parents doing homework for their children. Oh, you'll get a remark and then I'll do it. I'm sure Madam Principal will agree to this, and the teachers here also will agree to that. So what are we doing? We are trying to make them independent or not? No. Rather, they are going to be dependent. My brother will do that, my mother will. That's what COVID has taught us. When we were in the lockdown, we didn't have any domestic help, right? We took the responsibilities of everything. Didn't we do that? Yes. And that's where we take the responsibility, we make them responsible. And let me tell you one thing, that if your child gets less marks in one exam, how does it matter? How does it matter? Let him realize, let that self-realization come, that the grades what I am getting is coming to me, not to my parents. But I'm sorry to say that many parents also think that, okay, my child got this grade, it is mine. The achievements is theirs, not the child's. So that's where we need to understand. If you have to make them responsible, start giving those responsibilities right from the beginning. I mean, you never expected your children to wash the bathrooms and the utensils and the toilets and bed making and things like that. But today, they are swapping, they are mopping, they are cleaning the utensils, they are helping. So that's where the responsibility has come. And so we need to instill this responsibility right from the beginning, provided you don't overprotect them. And so by doing their duties, you are trying to overprotect them. So stop doing that. Accept the fact, okay, he has not studied well, he's not going to get the good marks. It's okay. Let him realize that he has to work hard. I can be a support to the child, but I'm not going to write the paper. I'm not going to listen. I can explain to him, but ultimately, who is the karta? The child. So that's where we need to teach them the responsibilities. Yes, I think I have answered that.
And there's one more question. Ms. Dedia writes, she has observed a lot of mood swings in the kids recently. The things that attract today are no more important tomorrow. And a lot of attraction towards online games. So is there any suggestion for these kind of concerns?
Well, with regards to mood swings, I would say that, see, mood swings can be due to many factors. It could be internal hormonal changes also. It could be due to, because today, I mean, why are we having mood swings? Today, I'm asking you this question. Why are you talking about your children? Aren't we having mood swings? Yes, we are. Sometimes we are happy, sometimes we are not happy, sometimes we are depressed, sometimes we are sad. So to have mood swings is fine. Fluctuation of mood swings is good. But if these mood swings persist, and if it becomes an obstacle in your performance, then it's a matter of concern. Have I answered?
Yes.
Yes. One more question, Devangi ji. Children do what we do, not what we tell them to do. It's a question from Muskan.
Children do what they like to do, right?
What we do. And, yes, and not what we tell them to do.
So, but if they're already doing what you're doing, why you need to tell them to do something? You got my point.
Ma'am, actually, it wasn't a question. It was something that I have been observed, that children do what we do. Like we keep telling them do this, do that, but they will not do what we are telling them. They will do what they see us
Exactly.
doing.
Yes, it's a very good point. See, because as I said that they are very good observers. They treat you as role models. They treat you as role models. I mean, I don't know, at least when I was in my school, you know, when my mother would go out, I would drape her sari in the house and I will have good time. You know, so those are the things, I mean, we tried to do. I could not do in front of her, but whenever she would go out and she would put a sari, immediately I would drape her sari and move in the house like a, you know, behaving like a motherly figure or something like that. So basically, yes, children are going to learn what we do, because till they will do that till they reach that comprehensive level where they need to do what they want. You have to understand that. That cognitive level has to come for them to take a decision. Yes, even I can do something. And at that time, even if you tell him to do something, he will say, let me think. So it's very, very important for us to understand that till a particular age, a child will do exactly what you want him to do or what you are doing. But the moment he is exposed to the outside world and he sees what is happening outside, he will try to comprehend what is happening outside and what is being told, right? Yes. And there is a lot of disparity between the two, and then he will come up with different questions. Mama, what you said is this and what I see is different. And so that's where the conflict starts in the mind of the children. And then that's where, if they are intelligent, they will start understanding on their own and they will take initiative to take decisions on their own.
Thank you, Devangi madam.
I hope you are going with few tips and I wish you all a very safe and good health. Stay home, stay healthy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Devangi madam. Thank you is a very small word. And how can I fill my feelings to you? Kalyani madam, if you don't know, in spite of having very bad frozen shoulder, Devangi madam is here with us. That's up to you, Devangi madam.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Kalyani madam, you are not audible.
Yours is not clear.
Yes.
Yeah, but I am not on mute.
Now it is clear. Now it is clear.
Now it is.
Okay. Yeah. Though we know a few things, madam, but the way you have explained it to us gives us more clarity. And I am glad that our children are here with us today, because it's important that they also know how we think and how we want them to think. You know, they have to now take a course of action as they're growing up. Soon they'll be out of their comfort zones.
Yes.
So thank you so much for spending your valuable time despite your discomfort. We are glad and we are grateful that you could. Thank you so much.
Kalyani ma'am, which I was speaking about, that life skill training program, madam has initiated that program.
Great.
Yeah, the Surakshit Bachpan. Yes. Yeah, yeah. Okay, children, I think you need to be a good support to your parents, and parents vice versa. Help each other, respect each other, love each other, and make a happy family. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. We are very grateful for the time and effort you took in spite of heavy, very bad frozen shoulder pain. We are thanking you from bottom of our hearts to share your thoughts, experience, and given a very, very useful tips and knowledge to our students as well as parents. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now I request Yojana, please propose a vote of thanks.
Our Vice President of the Rotrack Club, Ashwati, she has prepared. She wants to thank everybody. Ashwati,
Yes.
over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, respected dignitaries, teachers, and all the Rotractors. On behalf of the Rotrack Club of Billabong High International School, Thane, it gives me great pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks as we come to the end of this wonderful webinar on parenting. A very special thanks to our chief guest, Dr. Devangi, for giving an excellent coverage on the topic parenting. The session was very fruitful and interesting. It helps us understand about self-reflection and emotional control. I take immense pleasure in extending my sincere thanks to our parent club, Rotary Club of Thane Aces, and Rotarian Jyoti Kotak for their guidance. Also thanking our secondary coordinator, Mrs. Yojana Surya Rao, for her guidance. I extend my heartfelt thanks to our school's trustee, Mr. Sudhir Goyanka, our principal Kalyani ma'am, for giving us this opportunity, section head and teachers for their support. I must especially thank Rotractor Nirjeet Raja and the club members for working hard to make the event successful. Lastly, I would like to thank all the parents and students for attending the event and making it a success. Thank you.